Well, John, just when you thought it was all over, Conor Shaughnessy pops up at the back stick, scores a goal. I asked you this after the Wycombe game. I'm going to ask you again. Have you caught your breath back yet?
Yeah, I have. It was different emotions, to be honest. For whatever reason, from the Wycombe game today, I thought Wycombe we were really on top. We thoroughly deserved it. I thought we were excellent for large parts of the 90 minutes. And today, my overwhelming feeling at the moment is obviously thrilled that we got the 3 points, but yeah, just a bit disappointed. I think we nicked it for the first time this season. That was the first time I think we've probably not deserved the result. The only other times we haven't deserved the result, in my opinion, are when we've drawn games that we should have won. That today, it's a brilliant bonus, I think, because we all know we can do a lot better. So I'm sure when the dust settles, I'll be a lot happier tomorrow.
Based on your assessment there, what is there perhaps to work on from that performance?
Plenty. It's difficult now for me to really unpick things too much, but I thought first half we were excellent. I thought we looked a threat. We really nullified Carlisle in terms of their threat, and going longer to Joe Garner was a real problem for us at times, but I thought we dealt with it brilliantly well, apart from giving away a couple of free kicks. So I thought on the back of that as well, attacking wise, we were excellent. We created some really good chances, we were in complete control of the game, and that was my message to the lads at half time. We just looked at keeping the hammer down and going again. Unfortunately, I think in the second half we just lost control of the game. We lost our shape a bit. We got a bit sloppy, and the game just became really open. And to be honest, I think Carlisle can consider themselves really unlucky to not come away with at least a point.
Like you mentioned there, it's perhaps quite a slow start to that second half. What do you put it down to?
I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those things that it's difficult for us. Usually we do it the other way around. So usually we've come out in the second half and started games brilliantly well, especially when we switch over and attack the other way. So yeah, not sure. There's a few things we have to look at. It is difficult for me to assess properly. I get the feel of the game from the side, but in terms of the actual problems, I'll have to have a look at the video. We'll have a look at tonight, maybe tomorrow, and go from there.
One of those moments you will remember, of course, is Will Norris's save, a crucial stop that, if it didn't happen, we might not be stood here talking about a victory. Yeah, and
to be honest, most of my sort of recollection of Will's season so far has been how good his distribution's been, how well he's commanded his back line. Not a huge amount of saves that he's had to make, but to be honest, when he's been called upon, he's been brilliant. There's two that really stick out: the save against Exeter at the same end, at the Milton end, and the save again today, where he's kept us in the game with that sharp reflex down to the right. So really pleased for him. It can be a difficult thing for goalkeepers sometimes to keep their concentration for the full 90 minutes. But to be honest, today he had a bit more to do in the second 45 than he has in previous games, and a bit more than I would have liked him to do. But when he's been called upon, he's made the saves, and he's been excellent since he's come in.
What was your message to the lads in the dressing room after the game?
It was that I said to them what I've said here. I thought it was the first time I think we've actually sort of nicked a result, which is sort of disappointing in some ways because of the performance, but also really pleasing in others because you can't dominate 46 games as much as we'd like to. Sometimes you're going to have days like that against a side who I think are very dangerous. They beat Bolton 3-1 a couple of weeks ago, and I am fairly sure that they won't be they won't be in the sort of current league position they find themselves in for long, based on the back of that performance, because I thought they were very, very good for large parts of the game. So the message is well done, really well done. Sometimes when you win games, when you haven't played particularly well, you've got to give yourself a little pat on the back, because they didn't necessarily deserve it today, but I thought they deserved it because of the work they've put in and the first 12 games of the season where they've thoroughly deserved everything that's come to them.
Things sort of might have slightly dropped off towards the back end of the game as we were seeing it out, but the fans sort of stuck behind the team and really sort of got us through that. What's your message to them?
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a frustrating afternoon for them as well as it was for us, but a real difference now in, I think, the atmosphere around Fratton, and probably, honestly, the first time they could probably look at it and go, that was a bit disappointing, and we were with them. Our assessment is very rarely different to that of the fans, and to be honest, I feel like this season we are all in it together, and it's felt brilliant home and away. So the message is, keep sticking with us. Thanks for everything so far this season. We know you've got a couple of long trips now, up to Cambridge, then up to Reading. I say long trips, they're shorter ones than usual, but they'll still be on the road late on Tuesday night. So I'm looking forward to seeing them there, and hopefully we can reward them with a good performance and a couple of good results.
Just finally, how important is it to get those 3 points today ahead of what is a big week on the road next week?
Hugely important. We wanted to kick the week off with 3 points, and that was the most important thing. That was the most important thing. We've got 9 points to play for this week before we go into FA Cup weekend, and that was it. Really, really important win, and no matter how it comes, we will obviously look to improve upon things, but ultimately we don't really care. It's all about the win.